Okay, just in regard to Georgia Southern, it was another one of our typical close, hard-fought, down to the end type of games, and we came up a play short. We needed to make one more play or one less mistake or something along the way, and we just didn't quite get that done this time. We've done our share, but needed one more this game. I was really proud of the guys. Battled hard, fought hard, battled back. No quit in them. Overcome a lot of things to give themselves a chance to win. And gosh, game we could have maybe gotten. South Alabama. This is a good football team. They're good on defense. They got kind of beat last week by Arkansas State, but they had a lot of starters out with injury, 5 or 6 of them, I believe. Of course, as fate has it, they appear to all be healthy and ready to play this week. And that's the way it kind of seems to be for us. They're good on defense. They're one of the best in the league. They got talent on offense. The quarterback Bridge is very talented. Good offensive line, big play receiver to solid at running back. This is a good football team. They deserve to be where they are, and Joey's done a magnificent job there at South Alabama building that program, so he deserves a lot of credit. I've known Coach Jones since I was at Alabama, so for almost 15 years, and he's a good football coach.
Considering the success that Georgia Southern has had this year, do you feel like if this team plays the way it did that second half the rest of the season, that you'll get where you want to be?
Well, we've got some tough games ahead of us, but you'd like to think we will be. And, our margin of winning and losing, as you see, is very fine. But if we continue to give effort and fight like we have, you got to think we got a good chance.
Both teams at 5-4, with what you guys both have left on the schedule, you anticipate an intense game, sort of a must-win scenario in most ways for both teams?
I don't know if I'd call it a must-win. We got 2 more after this, but it's getting to the point in time in the season. All games are big, but as you wind down into the last 3 and you're at 5 wins fighting for 6, so that's a big game. If I were them looking at South Carolina and Navy next, I'd take notice of this game. Of course, it's a conference game, so it carries more weight than those 2. We've still got Arkansas State and Georgia State to play, so we've still got work to do no matter what happens in this game.
Coach, obviously, the pick 6 behind this game to you guys, and 14 points to win the game where it's a 2-point difference is a huge thing. Just about anything besides the pick 6 and you guys would have done right.
Well, that was a big play, no doubt. And but you know what? We had 4th and inches and we didn't make it. That was a big play too. And we missed a tackle on the quarterback or running back one time, and he went down to about the 5. That was a big play too. So, there were a lot of plays in that game that could have made a difference, not just one play by one player or anything like that. I know from a standpoint of the swing, as you're talking about, it's huge, and we all understand that, but I can find a lot of calls we wish we had back or differently, and as coaches, and I can find a lot of plays that I wish we'd have played a little bit better on that would have made a difference too. So, it's like the field goal kicker when he misses the kicker at the end of the kick at the end of the game to win. He's basically generally erasing somebody's mistake that didn't get it done. And there are a lot of things that could have been different on that play that could have made things different, but I can find other plays like that too.
We got the fourth quarter of football season, played 9, we got 3 left. What do you know about your team now that you know before? You really know who you have to go to war with at this point, don't you? It's not really any guesses about
Nope, you are what you are. Uh, what we are is a group that battles their tails off. They fight hard. They've prepared well. They've played well on the road. They don't give up. They feed off each other. I really like that about this team. What we lack, we make up for in that. And that really, I think, says a great deal about the character and the kind of guys we got and the job the coaches are doing. And this team is probably the closest team we've had since I've been here. And I don't know, they never thought that game was over until that quarterback took a knee the other night. And to recover the onside kick and go for another one. I mean, they keep trying to put themselves in a position, and they believe that they're going to get in that position. And from a coach's standpoint, gosh, you really admire these qualities. I wish we had a little more of this or a little more of that sometimes, but I guess if I could always pick, I think these characteristics that we have now are pretty hard to beat.
But when you lose a game like that close, it hurts a little more than when you get blown down like that because you know they had a chance. I mean, how does the team respond to that? I mean, is it different? Was it different Sunday when they came back? Then after we know that Lafayette and like stop going around and I'm sure they were mad at them and upset. You know how those coaches just do.
Well, anytime you make a commitment, you sacrifice, you go through blood, sweat, and tears and pain together, there's hurt when you lose. And that's okay. If there's not, you haven't invested much in it. It's a different kind of disappointment. The Lafayette game got away from us, and that was a frustration that we could have played better. The game Saturday was one that, when you get down to it, a couple plays could have made the difference between winning and losing, and those are always hard. But the great thing is we don't have time to sit and talk about it or think about it. This game this week is about as big as any game we've had this season, and we still have lots of goals to play for, and we have to get ready to play this week, and they know that. And basically, when the meetings and film was over Sunday, they put it behind them because they know they got to focus on what's ahead. This team's pretty mature in that regard. Some teams can't do that. This team does it pretty well.
What, if you could pinpoint it, has led to the success you guys have had on the road? I mean, it's 3-1 people on the road, and a lot of teams struggle in those situations. And your team, you acknowledged that last year the team didn't play so well on the road, but this year, you have the most success on the road.
Well, I think it's getting into the year 4 of the program and the things that goes with that in this process. It's the things that we have gone through as a team, the positive things that happen that we can draw from. And then I think just what I was just talking about with Steve there, and the belief and the fight. And I don't know, man, sometimes when you're on the road, it's a little bit of you against the world, and our guys have a good enough spirit among them, and it factor, or whatever you want to call it, that they are pretty unfazed about being on the road. So that's good. We haven't had that, and it's been a big step for us.
Any injuries you speak of, Coach?
Actually, no. Probably going to get Demetrius Woodard back for this game, and Stephen Smith. So we're not in too bad a shape there.
Anybody have outstanding games that we haven't really talked about and you look at the film and overlooked?
A lot of guys, that might have been our best defensive game of the year. Our D-line did a much better job than they had done. I thought Dila Rosemond came in and played safety and really did a nice job. Mager and Mims continue to give us good performances week in and week out in Mayo. Mike Odiari played well Saturday. I thought, we started Jeff Banks Saturday for the first time, and I thought he came in and did a good job, fought hard, and he can run and got a little size to him. I thought it was really good. A lot of guys on defense. Offensively, Lawrence White has improved a great deal, and thought Adrian and Ryan probably had the two best games up front, and we continue to get good performances from our running backs. So Terrence had a couple times he stubbed his toe Saturday. Will Johnson continues to do good things for us, to have a good chance to redirect field position sometimes.
In the last year, Coach, you had teams like Arkansas State and Georgia Southern, which is power-weighted teams that pass yards against really well. The fact that you guys were able to stop and slow Georgia Southern down a little bit, especially the second half, that maybe a little bit of confidence going forward, right?
It does. We did a good job. That's a good offensive line, as we talked about last week, and to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised a little bit with the way our front played and how we handled things and the toughness that we showed and things. And we did a good job on dive quarterback pitch with the perimeter guys, and we held up versus the power runs inside pretty good. And that you're right, that we weren't quite able to do that last year as well as we've been able to do it at times this year.
You were saying last week or after the game on Saturday that you felt like in some ways Georgia Southern fit your defense well because they see it in practice every day. Is there someone that you face this season that's similar to what South Alabama is going to try to do on Saturday night?
They're a little bit like a Lafayette. Arkansas State will be somewhat similar. They're different than Idaho, and they're different than New Mexico State. More like a Tulsa, probably somebody like that.
And it seemed in that game, even too, the first half defensively, you played well. Do you think they can draw some confidence from that game?
From the Tulsa game?
The Tulsa game.
That seems like about a year and a half ago.
Right.
I think the biggest thing is that their play Saturday, I think, should give them some confidence. I mean, that's a good offense that we went against, probably the best in the league. And in this game, you tend to live in the last few moments, not the last few months as much. So it's probably more what we've done recently. Last week the defense at this time didn't feel very good after the New Mexico State game. To their credit, they buckled it up and got it done. We certainly haven't arrived in any way, shape, or form, but that was a good performance by them. And Coach T had a good game plan, and the coaches, and I could help them on some of the things that I knew about the offense. So, it really the players executed it, and they deserve the credit.
Coach, how much do you remember last year about the 426 bowl? Do you remember the call was?
I do. Well, we called timeout, and I'm talking to Coach Schultz and the coaches about what they think we ought to do. There aren't many options on 4th and 26. And so we call 4 verticals. And but the thing I remember most is some of the offensive linemen saying, "Hey, we do this every Sunday, guys. This is no big deal." And we do. We do our 2-minute offense every Sunday at the close of practice against each other. And I'm like, hey, cool. They believe, you know. And we'd put them in enough situations to do it. I have to admit, 4th and 26, I was a little skeptical, but they had a good belief about it. And I remember the call, and I remember the pocket breaking down a little bit, and Tyler having a scramble, and a heck of a catch by Ben, running a play or two and trying to get the ball in the middle of the field, and then a heck of a kick by Jason under pressure. We got ourselves in that position because we let a couple balls go over our head that we probably shouldn't have let both of them, but we did.